Hey guys, welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Cockings, and a thing happened, Stuart. Oops.
Yeah, during our live review, or during our review, not our live review, but our review, Samuel came up with a brilliant way to tie everything together that we've seen, and it actually is pretty fantastic. So he kind of went off on a little bit of a, diatribe, and I'm like, this is a review. This isn't one of our speculation videos.
Yeah.
But it was so good and so well done that we decided that we're going to present it to you guys here now. We're going to cut it out and so hopefully he can do some editing magic and scale down our review because it was like 40 minutes because of that, but that's okay. He always does great work. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. We're just talking about a theory that could really bring this season together and tie all the loose ends that we've had up into one nice, neat little package. And I got to give him a lot of credit. That was fantastic.
It's kind of just all the pieces connected. So enjoy it. Do you think 2 weeks then is the time between the probe attacking the shuttle and infecting Arium, who then is infected with a virus that knows about the future, who then contacts Section 31 control, who is, getting its own ideas, but it's nowhere near there yet, and it then starts the ball rolling, just like in Terminator 3. The future Skynet infuses the current pre-Skynet and to become evil Skynet. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you just... And then that's when it turned on, and that's when it killed all the admirals, because Arium linked in and started sending information, and that was the catalyst for that.
It could be, absolutely. Like, it could be that the admirals got wind that something was going on. It was acting strange, and attempted to shut it down, so it decided, well, I'm just going to kill you guys. Mm-hmm. And take your images and use them as my own.
Because then you create this destination paradox of it created itself. The AI from the future was able to create itself, or in my opinion, because time is, I don't think that can't be that, whatever. I think it's more that it's now sped itself up. That now the threat that we had, can you imagine the resources that Section 31 has? How much is automated? And we know this AI has now got 25% of this knowledge, which we can assume is a lot. And we can assume that it can data stream itself across a network, but it's not limited to the computer of one station. So now I can very much see the end of the storyline being that it's not the threat from the future that's the problem. It's the threat from the now, which has been forced to start quicker. And that's when we have to have the Enterprise refit to a more TOS-looking war variant, like tactical variant. We see the D7s come in because the Section 31's AI can create these ships very quickly at our bases. And those are now attacking things with information from the future, with plans and stuff. And then, because we stop it in the now, it stops it in the future. And so that's the connective tissue of all of it, is that if this is the thing that is the threat in the future, it will never get to be the future if we can kill it now.
And something interesting that Arium said right before she died was, "Everything's your fault, Michael." Yes. Or your response. I forget the exact quote. I have it written down, but that really kind of perked my ears.
It's all because of you.
You talked about this. Quote. Yes, it's all because of you, which could imply that Michael was originally supposed to die before the Red Angel took over. Maybe this orb has knowledge of the universe after Michael has died for some reason. Maybe it's gone through a dimensional thing or a time portal or something. Because it was this 100,000-year-old thing that could have experienced so many different phenomenon. Maybe that's one of the pieces of information. I don't know.
But Burnham herself, I would rather think isn't the cause, because everyone around her is more qualified than her in different reasons. I would prefer to think that even Spock's important, that the Red Angel has saved her and allowed the crew to rally together because of these different missions, which then obviously got them to information, which then the AI wanted, which then got it happen early. Like the Red Angel did this calculation from the future saying, if we can get the AI to be born earlier, then we can stop it earlier. We can't stop it in the future.
That's brilliant.
We've already lost. But if we can paradox it into existing 400 years earlier, and this crew with a spore drive, because we haven't got the spore drive in the future, although we do the future, but no. So I think this actually might be a very nicely round up piece, and then by the end of it, we see a fresh Connie, refitted, rushed to war, and therefore it looks iconic because that's the new version with the new shielding, for example. D7's come in because they have to do a joint task force. The Section 01's been destroyed, at least the primary infrastructure takes itself with it. The threat from the future's destroyed. The Red Angel doesn't even matter who it is. I would even say there's not even a reveal. It's just, it did its job, we've saved the universe. Doesn't even need to be it's just a time agent. You know what I mean? Who's Red Angel? Doesn't matter.
Still a possibility it's Arium, or at least her body that's being used.
I would take that out of the equation now, but or it could be a future. Well, I think that still works better if it's the ship, because then AI versus AI. Because imagine if the Discovery in the future comes out and sees that an AI has decimated the entire galaxy, and it's a good AI seeing the humanity of people, of love. It evolved, because that must be a parallel. One AI evolved naturally to find love. One evolved to want to kill everyone. I'm really putting this together, aren't I? And one kills the entire universe. And then one AI goes back one way. The other AI goes back another way with the drone, with the time rip, which I must assume it created. And then you get this AI versus AI future battle. And it ends up with a win. And there you go. Season
Brilliant. 2. Sounds like its own episode, though. We shouldn't. This kind of went off track on the episode review.
That'd be a good season if that was the payoff, because everything then it actually pays off. And Spock's there because he needs to do something. Get this crew together in a certain way is part of the plan, and there you go.
That's a pretty fantastic theory. I am totally on board with that. It seems like something that they would kind of weave into their narrative if they were clever enough, and I think. I want to give them the credit to think that it might happen. However, we've always come up with better storylines after seeing what they actually come up with. This one's preemptive, and if you're right, man, you deserve a medal, and you deserve to be in the writer's room because that was great.
Well, it's just, they actually had the chance to build this storyline from the ground up, theoretically, and where does Calypso fit? It was such a throwaway thing, unless it isn't, and now you've got, it can't be a coincidence, 2 AIs, that...
This 1,000-year gap of the crew's been gone for 1,000 years, so the ship's been sitting in time, and we know that the planets get destroyed in the future.
I just had another connection.
Please elaborate.
So, future Discovery AI in spacesuit tells the crew on a separate when they're not on Discovery and says, "Hello, I am actually Discovery. Leave me here." And never come back, because unless I'm left alone to evolve for 1,000 years, I can never come back and save the timeline. Because it just tell them to do it, and they do that, and it comes back, and although they wouldn't then get to the point of a timeline with the destruction, but if you undo it, it might not happen.
Well, time's a jinky thing to talk about. We can't really say that it won't happen or it will happen because multiple realities and
that's the thing.
Parallels.
Star Trek both represents one timeline and multiverse. Theoretically. Every time Endgame, that's a new universe created. It's not the same timeline. They haven't changed time. They've created a new timeline. That's a different thing. So now we're watching the post Endgame timeline, or they do have so many times, like with we said in the last episode, Cisco and Bell. He changed his timeline to include him now, whereas it should have been an alternate timeline, or it wasn't. Well, his actions should have butterflied. So it presents both. But it mostly is one single timeline that just gets retroactively changed. And so by the way it mostly presents it, we can stop the future from happening, and then it won't be dead and we're fine.
Yeah, and we've kind of got the vibe over the years that time has a kind of its own course correction. It likes to fix things the way they're supposed to be. So brings people together, brings, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that plays out. Like I was blown away by your theory, so that's fantastic. So good job.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways it could be different, and I just feel like that's a... Because that was the thing, I only used what was in the show. I didn't extrapolate anything particularly, So I'm just wondering
I think that glimpse of Calypso is meant to be like a hint, and after it's all played out, we're going to be like, oh my god, that was so obvious.
And then just like other films, I think, was Star Wars all about that? It was about family, but whichever film, it's all about love. Discovery chose to save humanity because of love.
And I'm really thinking that the artificial intelligence is a result of Arium, or is Arium, because she downloaded all her memories and stuff before she transported over to the Section 31 base. So
Well, it's that plus the knowledge of the big creature data storage device thing. Yeah, I mean, if you've got just data to access, eventually it became an AI. So I wouldn't say it's Arium specifically, but it's an evolution of the data in the system. And I would assume that Arium was a human that became a android-esque, but she still lived thank you. Her experiences were still through a human lens, even if she was now living through a mechanical lens. And so Discovery could use that to experience more of a...
Yeah. Well, the memory we got, too, was her walking on the beach with her fiancé.
Husband, they eloped.
Husband, yes. Very, lovey-lovey. And, of course, that kind of cascades and results in what we see in Calypso, her falling in love again, or the new version of her, this evolved version, falling in love again, like she's kind of always wanted to, I would assume. So, yeah, it actually ties in really well. So it's fantastic. It would be awesome if they put this much thought and effort into the show. We can only hope at this point.
This is why I've said, build a strong arc, think it through, develop it A to C to B, and then you sort of... And as I said before, it's great that we'll lose Section 31 as a concept for now, and they'll help destroy it, and then it'll come back in DS9, and that's fine. So it might all connect, but we'll see. That was my official prediction. I'm glad you're on board. This was a big episode with small things that we think tie in, and we've still got a few episodes to go. Anything could happen, nothing could happen, and I think this will be a rollercoaster ride from now on. We've gone through any of the filler stuff. We've got Spock. It isn't about finding Spock. It's now about the plot of the story, not the step to get to the plot of the story. So I'm excited now. It'll be a roller coaster. So, yeah, I'm done.
So, guys, put your comments down below. What do you think of this theory? Do you have anything else that you'd like to add, or any theories of your own? By all means, add them. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it around. Check out all of our cool merchandise. We got some cool stuff down in the Teespring store. Lots of great links down there for cool stuff. Just let us know what you thought, because we always like to hear your insights.
We do read the comments. I mean, we do. And do support us on Patreon if you would like to. It helps us. I mean, some of you really have recently. It's a backbone of content that we know that we can keep going, keep going, and hopefully keep going as time keeps moving around. Or one-time donation at Trekyards.com, or just join all of our Super Chat lives and support any amount, and ask a question, have your comment read, and be part of the conversation, because it's fun.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley.
Come on, Kongs. Bye, guys.
See you soon.